Hello, I am Jennifer Foxworthy, the founder and CEO of Inspirationally Speaking and the founder of the Unstoppable You Women's Conference. Second annual Unstoppable You Women's Conference was in Fort Walton Beach, Florida on Saturday, August 8th, 2015 at the Shoreline Church. I had a phenomenal presenter in Dr. Anna Leurinda. Her presentation is Too Blessed to Be Stressed and Too Anointed to Be Disappointed. Enjoy.
I'm honored to be here again. My name is Leurinda, and like all of you, I am a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a fearless warrior, I'm a daughter, I'm a lover, God lover. So I'm honored to be here today. Last year I did talk too fast and I walked all over the place to the point that they couldn't keep me on the camera, so I'm going to sit still today. And I'm just happy and thankful. Thank you, Thomasina Collins, for being such an angel in so many ways. And thank you so much, Jennifer Foxworthy, for what you do, because you really don't need to be doing this, but you do it for the community. And I thank you for everything, and mostly for being involved with our armed forces. Thank you for what you do. I'm just excited to be here. The subject of my talk is too blessed to be stressed and too anointed to be disappointed. And stress is a term that we're all too familiar with. Being a multitasker and just carrying too many things at once. I remember the day that I was getting ready for work for a 12-hour ER shift after working all day seeing patients in my clinic when my oldest son Christian approached me, and he was a 5th grader at the time, and he said, "Hey Mom, where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to work." And he said, "Well, you just got back from work." And I said, "Well," he said, he turned around and with real depth in his eyes, he said, "You know you have a family." And so I realized at that moment I was stunned, because there's this little kid telling me a lot, because I thought I was doing this for my family. And so he did plant a seed. Indeed, he planted a seed. It took a lot of years for me to realize that what made me happy was not the 2 Mercedes and the boat and the condos and the houses and running 2 companies and having payroll and checks and things like that running around. What made me happy was to come to wisdom over the years and realizing that all those things are great and God wants us to be successful, but the most important thing is that we're here for several reasons. We're here to make a difference. We're here to be happy. We're here to love. And most of all, we're here to learn how to become more and more like Him. So it takes a while. I am 55 years old and I love my life. I thank God for every single minute of it. It hasn't been easy. This is not a cakewalk. But what's awesome is when instead of looking forward and thinking, "Oh my God, look, all I have to do still," I look back and I realize, wow, look how far I've come. And that stands for all of us here. Because we're not here because we need to, we're here because we want to, because we're growing, we want to learn, we want to just give God our best. And so I thought it would be a cool little thing to talk about. So first slide. First I'd like to pray for a second. Lord, I pray for each and every woman and man in this room today that you may grant us what we have been seeking God for. Joy, answered prayers, healing, strength, wisdom, and encouragement. Your word says that all things work together for good for those who love you. And we love you, Lord. We thank you, we honor you, we just love you. Amen. Next slide. So what is stress? We could go on and on for years talking about stress, but our goal is to talk about what's going to help us not be so stressed. Dr. Hans Seeley, who's one of the leading authorities in stress in the 20th century, defines stress as a non-specific response of the body to any demand made upon it. So stress can be good or bad. The next slide, please. Acute stress is the most common type of stress. It's important. It's a short-term response to something that happens to us. An example of it was dodging a vehicle, dodging a car. Actually can save our lives. It can be healthy. So there's good stress and there's bad stress. And there's also chronic stress. And chronic is something that just goes on for a long time. Sometimes the person has so much stress they just cannot deal with it. And that could cause illness, as we all know. Next slide, please, Chris. So what things are the sources of stress? They're just too many to name, but Up there in the highest would be the death of a spouse, the death of a child, divorce. They're probably the three highest ranked levels of stressors. Illnesses, problems at work, problems with peers, children, teenagers. We sometimes think that college students are just having a la la land and partying in college. No, college is actually one of the biggest stressors for young adults today. And in the handout that I hope everybody at the table gets one, if you need more, we'll get some more copies. But there's 4 sheets there that I didn't place on my slides because of time. But they're very important. If anybody has kids in high school or college, there are things that worry college kids a lot more than we could even give them credit for. And there's also techniques that they can learn to overcome these situations. So I hope you get to share them with a college kid. I sure wish when I was in college somebody had told me all of that. But it's important. We live in a world that's not an easy world. It's a fallen world. So we have to go above and beyond to make sure that stress does not overtake our life. Next slide, please. So stress ranks first among the top health concerns in Americans today. And I would venture to say, of course, this is a world issue. And 75 to 90% of visits to healthcare providers result from stress-related events. In this room, we also have a psychiatrist in our area, a good friend of mine, Dr. Mara Fiorentino. She is a lead expert on stress, and I invited her to be here with us. And also stress is a leading cause of death in college population, other than accidents. And it's a big, big deal, like we talked about a couple of minutes ago. And 75% of college students really feel stressed at least one day a week. If you meditate, if you do things that are helpful for you, it is associated to the 30% decrease in cardiovascular events. So that is very important. And another thing that's very true, and sometimes we forget about it, I see that in my practice every day. One of the things that I deal with the most is people come in and tell me, I can't sleep. And we could do a whole talk on sleep. But in essence, there's so many things that interrupt our sleep. The most, of course, is stress. Things that we worry about at night before we go to bed. Substances that we may use before we go to sleep, such as caffeinated beverages and things like that, and a lack of exercise. So these are just numbers, some data that I just wanted to just bring an eye and awareness to you all. The next slide, please. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about exercise. And to break it up, I'd like everybody to get up from their seats for a second. Let's go a little bit of stretching, exercise. Want to come up here and help me? Do a couple of little exercises for everybody to stretch and get out of their seats.
आज तू है पानी 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 और दिल भी सानी 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 आ जाओ on the beach यार फोटो मेरी खींच मेरी किस्मत होगी तेरी अगर तू नहीं है बात न मानी आज तू है पानी 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 और दिल भी सानी 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 आ जाओ on the beach यार फोटो मेरी खींच मेरी किस्मत होगी तेरी अगर तू नहीं है बात न मानी
What I'm trying to say that it's so easy. It doesn't matter if you have a broken leg or we can't go out and jog because the knee's not working well. In our seats, we can do stuff. And it'll make you smile. I mean, music will make you smile. Other things that are important are relaxation techniques. Exercise is a natural way of relaxation. And then there's other things like meditation, yoga, some things like, they seem a little out there for us, but honestly, it just takes for us to just separate ourselves from the world for a little bit, and just pray and meditate and just enjoy a little bit. Lifestyle changes are very important. Remember, we are a work in progress. And lifestyle changes, I truly believe, will do away or decrease significantly the most common illnesses we have today, including high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. Stress and lifestyle changes go together. Laughter and humor, no doubt laughter and humor are the most important thing. Reframing. Reframing is how we see things. And create a memory bank. Do a journal every day, even if it's 3 lines that you write. Create things that make you feel good. Create ideas and things that you'll be able to share later on. Next slide, please. That's my daughter Nicole when she was little. Fearless as well. And she's now 17 years old. She'll be starting 11th grade here for Walton Beach High School. And she is a person that I'm so proud of because she has shown me, since the day she was born, she has shown me what a true warrior, a true motivator is. And next slide, please. I couldn't do that. I can't be in a pool with a dolphin. So reframing, it's such an easy concept. When you see a glass of water, do we see it half full or half empty? So we have to reframe things that we've been taught, things that we've learned from our parents and grandparents, that they were good for us growing up, but that doesn't mean they were the right ideas. So we just have to kind of reinvent ourselves and just see things in a much lighter way. Next slide, please. So diet is important. I can't tell you enough. Easy, no complicated diets. Water, lots of vegetables, lots of salads, 2 fruits a day. I get patients that eat 7 fruits a day. Well, no, that's a lot of sugar, so decrease that. And lean proteins. Reduce or eliminate toxins, alcohol, cigarette, tobacco, smoke, things like that are drugs, of course, total toxins and poisons for us. There is a slogan I saw once that says, smoking relieves stress. Yes, you will live 7 years less. So it's true, smoking is totally a toxin. Develop satisfying relationships. I think that's very important. I remember my dad used to always tell me, Anna, you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. And that's very important. The people that you socialize with, make sure you're being careful. Make sure you listen to what comes inside your ears or your eyes, movies, lyrics. Those things come into your spirit. I'm a firm believer that what we listen to and what we do and the people we hang out with have a very strong influence in our being. And schedule me time. Listen to music. Music is definitely an uplifter. Ideally, it's not a good idea to watch TV before you go to bed. We all do it. But if we're going to do that, it's better to listen to something funny or watch something funny than to look at crime, mystery, or something negative like the news, for example. So that's always an idea. Watch or listen to something funny. If you can, read something before you go to bed. If you do a trial, and for a week, just watch funny things before you go to bed versus scary things or violent things. Just the next day, just write down how you're feeling. Take data on, are you less stressed? Are you nervous? Did you have nightmares? And you'll see there's a direct correlation between the 2 factors. The next one, please. Oh, do not attempt to eat a whole bunch of cilantro at once. It will make you sick. That's my favorite thing in the world, cilantro. And this is just, eat lots of greens, but not at one time. Okay, the next one. Lots of vegetables and water and fruits. The next one. And more than anything, enjoy where you are on the way to where you're going. I know you're all probably very familiar with Joyce Meyer. And she is an incredible, not only a preacher, but she's also a teacher. So I encourage you to get on her site, listen to her podcast. Really, she's a lot of fun. The next one, please. And because of God's grace and mercy, your future can be greater than your past. There's a scripture that talks about that. The book of Haggai 2:9 says that the latter years are greater than the former. So own it, live it. That's His word talking to us. Next one, please. Remember that God is working all things for your life together for good. He will never leave you or forsake you. And when trials come, we have to tell ourselves, let's not panic, because God is working for my good. Next. And during difficult times, we have victories that we've already won. During these times is when God takes more time to teach us, to heal us, to guide us and to provide for us. Sometimes when we're like floating on the hallelujah cloud, we don't get close to God that often. But it's during the times we are really convicted of something that really God works, it makes us grow the most. So these are times that only when you get to be a little bit older, you realize the wisdom behind the trial. And there's always a gift behind the trial. It's just that sometimes it's so difficult to find the gift when you're in the middle of something so bad. So the next one. And it's not how big the problem is, it's how big our God is. And if we remember at all times not to magnify our problem, but magnify our God, the trial goes by a little easier. And then we're getting stronger, we're getting wiser, and we are drawing closer to God. Those are the goals that help you work through stress the best. The next, this is my favorite Walt Disney quote, that all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And I'd like to end by saying that I am just so mystified with the urge and the hunger that we all have, and more people are having every day to get closer to God, to just overcome, the world and just leave a message for somebody else. And after doing so many things in life, and I pray to God I can do many other things, I just came to the conclusion, what do I want to be remembered for, when I pass? What do we all want to be remembered for? I want to be remembered for being like the best mother in the world, the person that got up every morning and did her best and just smiled all the time and just taught people things. And that's what I want to do, and I know that girls are here because of that as well. So to do that, we have to surround ourselves with people that are on the same mission as us. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
This is an Inspirationally Speaking LLC production. I pray that Dr. Anna Leurinda's presentation was a blessing to you.